Welcome friends. This is a nice and friendly bedtime story. Nothing scary, no big plot twists, don't worry. It's all about snuggling in and taking some time to step out of all of that and go somewhere else for a while. And so, today's story is about Lomer. Now, Lomer was an otter. He was from the bluffs down close to the wellspring, and a decent enough fellow, although sometimes a bit on the timid side, a little unsure perhaps. He was in fact quite average, and for as far as we're concerned, was possessing of a nice warm chocolate-colored coat with coffee-colored warm underfleece blanket and warm honey-colored eyes that had a tendency to twinkle in the moonlight. This is the story of how our humble Lomer found us a homestead. And yes, it's a tale we all know, but it's been a long day, and it's a nice tale to tell. Now this Lomer, he wasn't up to much, just floating around in his favorite tadpole backwater, watching the golden rays of the sun kiss the surface of the black water. It was the perfect moment to take a nap. And so, he did. Warm and at peace, drifting slowly from pool to pool, our friend gently bobbed in and out and around the bend and onto a new beginning. Now, as I've said, Lomer didn't exactly have an adventuresome soul, but when he awoke, his head was, in fact, bumping right on it. Yes, indeed, right there, without a doubt, was the otter mark. We all know it. There it was, etched with great care into the ledge that reaches way down into the darkest of waters. Of what had become a small river? How long was he drifting anyway? Lomer had taken a long float indeed, but in his sleep muzziness he forgot his timidity and rushed up the bank looking for the next sign. And after a bit of snuffling around, there it was, and the imprint of a well-used but long-forgotten trail. And wow, it was an otter trail. So without a backward glance, our friend set off, and with stops and starts, to scuffle around and scuffle a little more, he found the next sign. And then another one after that, and the next. After quite a while, he took a pause to drink at a cold spring, and he realized that it was the first time he'd ever been in the big dark woods, let alone alone. And it was beautiful. He'd never seen so many strange and new things, like the giant orange mushrooms that look like umbrellas, and the big golden-eyed mountain toads with their unhelpful advice, not like the bullfrogs with their timely introspection. So without any reason not to, Lomer ambled on, and on, from mark to mark along the old trail, up and over a ridge and down the long valley. Somewhere around the time when Lomer was starting to really feel hot and discouraged and lonely, the trail brought him to the edge of a meadow, and that meadow was aglow with sunshine and buttercups and bumblebees. And somehow, upon pausing, he could faintly just hear beneath the hum, was that the burble of water? And yes, indeed, after some time to listen, our Lomer ambled on. Down the long trail and to the side of the lazy river bend. We all know the place now, of course, but just imagine being the first one to see it. Such a welcoming spot after such a long walk. And there it is, surrounded with its tall, dark trees with their long boughs gracing the edge of the water. Lomer was feeling at last like he had found the sanctuary he was looking for. Quietly he paused to soak in this peaceful scene. Even though Lomer didn't start his day looking to see anything he hadn't already seen or do anything out of the ordinary, here he was standing on the banks of a new home with things to see and new places to go. It had been a long day for our friend indeed, and as the sun cast its rosy glow across the quiet river, our friend realized that it wasn't that he'd been timid at all. It was just that he'd never taken on the need to try. Now that he knew how to, though, oh boy, were things going to be a lot less humdrum in the future. But as for this day, he, with a sigh, as he slowly slid into the comforting, supportive embrace of the water, he heard the welcoming call of the bullfrog. Sleep well, Lomer. Sleep well, my friend.